In this preview, I'm going to fly another section of the Mysteries of the Abandoned flight plan I have. If you haven't seen the previous ones, Mysteries of the Abandoned is a show on the Science Channel. At the beginning of each segment, they give the latitude and longitude. So I've been keeping track of the latitude and longitude for the first 7 seasons of the series. But I've been wanting to fly Spain because there's a rail station, the Canfranc Railway Station, which has a lot of interesting things about it, but it's a giant narrow building that should be visible, but I think its claim to fame, there were 2 different gauges of rails, and the station, basically you had to get off one train coming from the north to get on another train going to the south on a different gauge railway, as I recall. Go back and watch the episode. You can check my recollection, but I'm pretty sure that's one of its claims to fame, but it's certainly an interesting building, so we should be able to see it. So what I did was I chopped out a few of the Mysteries of the Abandoned locations. So the Canfranc Railway, Belchite Ruins, Esco, which I don't recall, but I may remember when I see it. And then I also went through and found all of the points of interest from World Map. So it's got all the Microsoft Flight Simulator World Map points of interest on it. And then also a couple spots I just found on Google Maps that looked interesting. We'll see if we find any others. With Spain's history, I'm sure there's a lot of interesting architecture all over the place. So let's go ahead and fly it. You can download and fly these flights yourself at simflightplan.com/download. I'll include the link to this one in the description box. Guess there's no real need to climb much because we're only 3 miles from the aqueduct, which I think is, well, we'll see when the waypoint number changes, but I think that's actually a world map point of interest. Oh, I see it. Oh yeah. Tucked right back in there in the trees. Roman aqueduct, I assume. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Oh, you can see the stonework. That's cool. And now we've got an amphitheater at the coast, which I think was just a Google Maps point of interest, so it may just be imagery on the ground, if anything at all. There's a stadium. Should be right on this little inlet here. I wonder if that big sort of circular building is it. Yeah, I think that circular building is it, because you can see the road. And see in the satellite imagery, there's our little bend in the road, and it looks more like a hotel than an amphitheater. Pretty sure that's it. So the next one's Castel de Vilaseca, and so I guess we'll find out if Flight Simulator recognizes Spanish castles as well as it recognizes Welsh ones, because on the Wales bush trip there were lots of them. Oh, I think that's it, all there by itself. I think if you look at the satellite, that's, yeah, there's a little green belt next to it, sort of all by itself. See, there should be a monastery or an abbey there along the base of the hill. Sometimes you never know. An abbey can be a little shed in the mountains somewhere, or a giant cathedral. Oh, it's perched right there on the edge. Yeah, I'm guessing that's our abbey up there, or monastery, with whatever it is. Oh, there's not much left of Castel de la Mola. Oh, but there it is. Sure enough. Well, that's Castel de la Mola, as promised. Guess this is wine country, judging by the vineyards icons. Not a big wine drinker myself. Or, I'll drink it, I just don't know what I'm drinking. Oh, that's got to be a little racetrack. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, go-kart racing. Oh, but it looks like there's another racetrack up here. Circuit Mora de Ebra. Not familiar, but that certainly appears to be a racetrack and a fun one. Unfortunately, in the U.S., we mostly have NASCAR, which just goes around in circles. It's for other people, it's not for me. So Corbera de Ebre, I think, is the site of a battle in the Spanish Civil War, if I'm not mistaken. As always, check the Mysteries of the Abandoned episode on Science Channel to check my story. I'm working from memory. Probably go back and watch the episodes after the flight. Well, it looks like a pretty regular town, but I think a section of town is essentially just destroyed and maybe they left it that way, or maybe I'm thinking about the wrong thing. Yeah, I guess it's just the ruins up on top of the hill there. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. These are early 20th century buildings, or maybe even before, that were destroyed during the Spanish Civil War, I think. So that's season 6, episode 9, third segment. Looks like Microsoft Flight Simulator is fixing the buildings up for us though. Putting the roofs back on. You can see they're all black flat roofs, which essentially is probably there is no roof on those buildings. So there's Belchite, which is, of course there's a going concern, the town of Belchite, but all the dirt area, I believe, is ruins. Maybe the same story both here and at the previous waypoint, just casualties of the Spanish Civil War. Maybe Belchite's claim to fame, there was an American mercenary group that fought there against the fascists as well, maybe. One of the two places, I believe that's the story. So I don't really need a push pin to tell that that's our cathedral. That's pretty awesome. And then just across town is the Third Millenium Bridge. There's our Third Millenium Bridge. And then I guess right next to it is our famous building. I don't know what it is. Oh, we got light posts. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I chickened out. Not gonna do it. That's too close. So that's the Third Millenium Bridge, and our other landmark here, the Bridge Pavilion. Maybe this is a good place to go ahead and just land, because we're 40 miles from the mountains. That's gonna be my airport. Oh, I'm gonna have to swing out to make an approach at it though. Where was that? That's right up here, isn't it? Yeah. My runway should be out there in the dirt somewhere. Oh, I guess that's it. It's actually paved. Nice. Didn't expect that. I mean, it is a runway, but it doesn't look like Microsoft Flight Simulator recognizes it. I'm gonna land there anyway. Well, it's definitely a runway. Sure is bumpy. I'll figure out what the iCal code is when I add it to the flight plan. So we're going to go ahead and cut this one in half, and then we'll pick up and I'll see my Canfranc railway station on the next one. There's a couple other points of interest along the way too. This flight plan will be available to download and fly yourself at simflightplan.com/download. I'll include the link to it in the description box. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe.